now 11 o'clock. It's the day after I started filling the tank. As you can see, a couple of things that have been changed really this morning. I added all the egg crate, so I've literally covered pretty much all the bottom. I didn't know where I was going to put any of the rocks or anything, so I'm happy just to cover the whole thing in egg crate, quite frankly. I know some people cut it into the shapes and things, but it just means that then if you change your mind with rocks later down the line, you're having to mess around with all of that. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, to be honest with you. Don't think it'll make any difference whatsoever. What I've also done, so these are the rocks that I bought. I've had these for months now, probably about 4 or 5 months. So what I was doing is, as I was deciding what I was going to do, I didn't know whether I was going to make my own rock. So I did buy a lot of Marco rock, and I started gluing it together, and it just wasn't for me. It's just not what, I didn't enjoy it at all. Really fiddly, really messy. Just didn't really seem to kind of like be anything that I wanted to get involved in. So what I did instead, I looked around and I noticed there was aqua roche, which is obviously kind of like pre-made rock. Obviously, you know, the price is quite high, but again, because I was well outside of setting up, I wasn't desperate. I just kind of waited, and I put some watch links on Facebook Marketplace and places like that. And lo and behold, over the space of probably about 2 months, there was quite a few people selling, well, getting rid of the tanks and getting rid of their aqua roche. So yeah, I bought some of the pieces. I think I did really well on some of the prices. I mean, you know, I'm not going to go into what I paid, but it's probably about a third of the retail price, if not lower, in some cases. So I did really well there. So basically, as you can see here, there's a big piece here on the right hand side. I like that piece, but it just wasn't tall enough. So what I've done is I've put, so again, when I was building the rock work, I bought some coral pieces. Again, I just wanted to keep all my options open. What I've basically done is I've stacked, there's kind of 4 feet on that piece there. So I've basically put a rock under each piece, and it's absolutely rock solid. Just doesn't move. So nothing's going to kind of budge it. So yeah, I've kind of raised that up. So you've got a nice little cave under there, and then another secondary cave on top, and it's got lots of little hidey holes and places like that. So I really like that piece. And then obviously it's got lots of kind of like stacking places for corals. But I really like these kind of plate pieces down here, because I can put lots of corals on these plates down here as well, and at the back. So you've got another piece of aqua roche. There's another big one here, this one. Again, just like it. It's got lots of little nooks and crannies, hidey holes, caves. So again, really like that. When I bought one of the pieces, can't remember which one. It might have been this piece, actually, I can't remember. But when I bought one of the pieces, this one came with it. I'm not a huge fan, but just adds a little bit of extra height to the tank. And then this space here, which obviously is conspicuously absent in rock work, there's a piece of rock that's actually soaking out the back. So again, that's another kind of sculpted piece. It's not aqua roche, but I think it was there's a company in the UK that make rock, and there was a guy selling it, and you know, it was like 100 miles to get to him, so I went and bought it because it was just absolutely stunning piece. So I really like it. I've not seen really anything like it that gets sold secondhand. So I went and bought that. So you'll see that when that's finished soaking. I've literally just put it on to soak this morning. So that I'm just going to soak it for about a week, and then once it's finished soaking, it'll go in right at the end, just before I'm ready for adding the salt probably. So you can see here, guys, I mean, this has been filling now since 2 o'clock yesterday, and it's literally, if I kind of give you some idea of scale, it's probably, what, 3 inch of water, 4 inch of water maximum. So it's just crazy. So I mean, like I said, it's 11 o'clock today. I started it roughly about 2 o'clock yesterday. So I reckon it's probably going to be another 3 days to fill the sump, and then fill the top up canister. So that puts us on what, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, I let it run overnight. I didn't switch it off overnight. It just ran all the way through the night. And this is supposed to be a 150 gallon per day unit. So what does that tell you? It either tells you that my water pressure is really low, or it tells you that my water's it's rejecting more water than it's actually pumping through. So yeah, it is what it is, I'm afraid. So I may have said on other videos that I was going to kind of fill it, drain it, and then refill it again. I mean, based on what's happening at the moment, there's absolutely not a chance that I'm going to do that. It would literally take me about 2 weeks to fill it twice, so just not going to happen. Obviously, I've got the filters, the skimmers, and everything else in there. So what I'll probably do is just run it for a couple of days. Yeah, I've got the salt mixes ready to go, so I'm going to salt it up using Coral Pro, Red Sea's Coral Pro salt. Got 2 tubs of that, so each tub roughly does what, about 80. Oh no, what does it say here? 640 to 550 litres, depending on kind of what salinity you want it at. So obviously my tank's 850. So that's why I bought 2 tubs. That should pretty much get me through with a little bit spare over. So yeah, we're all good to go. We just need to let the tank fill. As you can see, I've still got the rat's nest of cables and boxes down there. Basically, I just kind of gave up on it last night. I'd had enough. I'd been doing it since like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was doing it till about 7 o'clock in the evening. I just had enough. So I probably did a 10-hour shift on trying to sort out the cables and everything else and all the other little bits and bobs that I did. So I've done a couple of hours this morning, just sorting the rocks out, rinsing them off, getting this egg crate in the tank. Meanwhile, like I say, the blue tube's just pumping out clean RO water into the tank all the time, but just very, very slowly. So I'm just going to let it continue to do that all day. So I've got the other piece of rock soaking in the back. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be about as good as it gets now till we get till probably Tuesday, Wednesday. At some point I will tidy that rat's nest up, but just a little bit of a minefield at the moment in terms of where I'm going to put all these power supply units. So once I kind of figure that out in my head, I'll get around to tidying them up. Another thing I did buy as well, again, I've had these a while, is I'm going to use the Red Sea DIY cover nets. So they actually tell you what you need to use, and so I've got the 3 nets itself, and then there's some plastic zigzag pieces and clips that they need. So if you go on Red Sea's website, put in the size of your tank, they tell you exactly what you need, and then you just buy the appropriate things, and then away you go. So it's at some point I'm going to have to do that. Obviously I don't need to do anything of that till I get fish in there, but once I've got fish in there, then yeah, that's going to be a priority. So yeah, I put the lights on last night. They work, they connect to Mobius okay, no issues. Just again need to tidy up the wires that go down. That I might do that this afternoon. Make that look a little bit neater than it is at the moment. Obviously those wires aren't going to be strung over between each other like they are at the moment. They're just going to run back behind all the units, then back behind the tank. And again, I've got the big 3. You can see they're the biggest power supply units ever. So again, they need to find a home. So yeah, lots to do. Okay, so it's an update for you. So it's about about 2:30 now on Sunday. So I started filling this around about 1:30, 2 o'clock yesterday on Saturday. So literally we're probably, I don't know, a fifth, a quarter way up the tank. So yeah, I reckon it's going to take us 4 days or so to fill this thing up at the moment. So I've tried swapping the pipes out. So I'm feeding it currently off the garden hose pipe, and it goes into the RO unit. It's supposed to be 150 gallon a day RO unit, and obviously it's produced me probably 30 gallons in an entire day. So I don't know whether that's down to the pressure or what. I mean, I'm running it off mains, but I don't really want to kind of spend any money. I'm only going to fill this once, and then I just need to use the RO for top up. So it can top my auto top up over a day, and that'll probably last me 5 days or 6 days, hopefully. We'll just have to see. But if it causes me a problem in the future, I'm going to have to invest in something to get me some more. But I don't think it's the water pressure. I just think it's the amount of rubbish that's in the water. The TDS is about 118 today. And obviously it comes out the RO at 0, so it's got to get rid of all of that. So there's an awful lot of junk that it needs to get rid of. So it's just rejecting quite a lot of rubbish and just obviously giving me a steady stream of pure water. You can see you know, the steady stream that's coming out of it. So it is producing water and it's coming up. It's just such a volume to fill. It's just ridiculous, you know. So yeah, so it's going to fill. Obviously I put the rocks in earlier, which we talked about, and the egg crate. I've done nothing else with it. I finally managed to get the 2 Reef Wave pumps connected to the Reef Beat app. I have no idea what was going wrong with those at one point, but I literally tried pretty much all evening yesterday for both pumps. Tried on and off this morning for probably an hour or so. I've done factory resets, I've done hard resets, I've done everything on them. And basically what I did, I just did another hard reset. But I pressed the button in a lot longer than I would normally do. So it says 15 seconds for a hard reset. I left it in there for about 20 seconds, 25, 30 seconds. Once it had done, I unplugged the power from the unit, left it off for about 30 seconds, plugged it back in. And initially it wouldn't connect, and then second attempt did exactly the same, and then it did it. So I'm not complaining, everything's connected now. It's just really frustrating that it's taken so long to get these Reef Waves connected, but all of the Red Sea equipment now is connected to the Reef Beat app. So I've got the Reef ATO, the 2 Reef runs, the one that runs the 2 return pumps, the one that does the skimmer. I've got the 2 Reef Wave 45s on there. So literally everything is going through the Reef Beat app. Obviously the Ecotech Radion lights are powered through the Mobius app. Obviously I tried those yesterday. Those are all right. So I'm just going to leave those alone. What I am going to do is I'm going to order. So I've decided that the D&D heater. Obviously the cables weren't long enough to reach all the way to the other side of the cabinet. And I don't want to put them in this sump extension here. I want them in. I want all the equipment on the left side. So I've ordered an extension lead. So what I'm going to do, I've ordered a black double socket extension lead. So the plan is to plug the 2 heaters into that double socket extension lead. Plug that plug into one of the GHL sockets and just have it literally switch one plug on. So when the temperature comes low, both of the heaters will come on at the same time. And they'll both go off at the same time, which probably is a better way of doing it, actually. So yeah, I'm going to try that, give that a go. So yeah, there's not much more really I can do apart from let it fill. Again, I've still left the rat's nest of cables there. I mean, I've left that now for 2 days, so I am going to have to attempt to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan something out. Maybe something to support the GHL. So the idea is to put the power bricks somewhere along the back. I don't really want to attach them to that plastic piece. I'm not keen on that, if I'm being honest with you. That is one option. There's probably enough room in there to get all the power bricks hung off the back. But I'll have to kind of come up with some concoction to do that. And I think it's actually easier if I just kind of like build something for them all to kind of sit in here. Air can flow through them. So it'll keep them a bit cooler, and then on top of it I can put like a platform, and then I can put the GHL controller and the GHL doser, and then obviously I'll feed the dose lines down here into where the media basket is. I can put some bottles in there if I want to, and then just feed the dose lines across. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Again, just kind of trying to work it all out, but I think that's probably what the plan is.